Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sky, and today I want to talk about my recent camera acquisition, a number 16 Cirkut camera. This is the largest camera ever produced for panoramic photography, commercially available, I should say. I believe there's a number 22 that I've spoken with the current owner of it, and of course there's cameras like the Mammoth camera and a few others out there that are larger. But as far as commercially available, the number 16 is the top dog. I wanted to break this video down into three sections. Why did I get it? What's wrong with it? And what it came with. So without further ado, we're going to get into why I purchased it. Recently, I had a number of conversations with Drew Tanner, Ron Klein, Euphus Ruth, about whether or not what would be a good reason to have a 16 in this day and age when film would be next to impossible to acquire. Well, the main reason that I kept getting back, especially from Ron, was that you could use it to have more telephoto photography done. The number 16 has the ability to go up to about a yard worth of focal length. So that gives you the ability to have super zoomed in using, say, 10-inch or 8-inch film versus the number 10. I think the limit is somewhere around the 800 millimeter, a little bit less than that. So that's really the only real reason why I wanted it. Honestly, didn't think I would be able to acquire film for it, but lo and behold, I got some Photo 100 coming in 16 inches by 50-foot lengths. So that'll be something for future me to worry about. I'm not going to focus on that first. That's just going to be something that goes into my freezer and something I'll have to cut down and work with later. All right, for this section of the video, I want to talk about the things that I know are wrong or things that I'm going to have to address at some point in time before I could realistically use the camera. First and foremost, there's no ground glass. Ground glass is easy enough to make. I've made it for my number 6. My number 6 outfit. I've made it for my Graflex. I've made it for my Century View 8x10, and I'm sure I can't remember all the cameras I've done it for, but I think it's been about 5 or 6 of them I made ground glass for. So that's not really going to be an issue. It's just an inconvenience. The thing that was somewhat of an issue, but I think I might have figured out, was that there's no, or half of the ground glass clips are missing. So I found some Wista ground glass clips from, I believe, Cat Labs. Cat Labs had some new ones in stock. They seem fairly simple. Looks like they're a bit of a spring steel, pre-made. So those will go fine on the back of the camera. I don't think these will be too much of an issue. They're pretty stout. Feel all right. That's for future Sky to deal with. Gears. I do not have a full set of gears. Shocker. I know. Every single Cirkut I have has doesn't have a full set of gears that came with the camera. I've already done some tests so far. I'm having some issues with my printer. I'm not positive it's the printer or the program that I'm using, but they're not quite matching up with what I need it to be. I spoke with Ron Klein, and he said the pitch of the gears should be 32 with a pressure angle of 14.5. When I made a test for that, it didn't quite match up with the gear that I do have, or one of the gears that I do have with it. It's actually slightly undersized. And I thought maybe it was if I originally went with a pressure angle of 20 degrees, but when I reprinted it at 14.5, it did the same thing. I went back to my old trusty standby, which was to use a metric gear module 0.8, and that matches up almost perfectly with the original gear. I can't really tell a difference other than the shape of the gear tooth itself. This one is slightly rounder than what was coming out, but so far this seems to match up really well, and when I mesh the gears up to the main gear, it seems to work fine. So hopefully the module 0.8 will work versus going with the traditional 32. For whatever reason, my either the program I'm using or my printer just doesn't want to print it correctly. So moving on. Fans. I only have one fan. Now, that shouldn't be too big of a deal. I've made fans before. The only difference is the fan on this camera is slightly different from what I'm used to. The Alvista fans are friction fit, and this one screws into a specific, very tiny, small machine screw thread. It sucks, is what it is, but I'm sure I can figure it out well enough without having too big of an issue. There's no tripod legs. That shouldn't be too big of an issue. Ron Klein sent me some information on how to make a fairly simple set. Eufus talked to me about something similar, so I think I'll be all right when it comes to making legs for it. I did notice that the pins for the main, well, I guess it's not a turntable in this case, but the main gear head of it, the pins are like 1/4 of an inch diameter. My number 10 and number 6 outfit, the holes are way smaller, so that's not going to work. So I will have to make my own. Bellows. The bellows on the camera look like they're from a 7x17. At least that's when I spoke with Ron Klein about it. That's what he is guesstimating, because the bellows only extends as long as the first stage. The motor isn't catching when you try to wind it up. When I go to wind up the motor, it's not ratcheting in place and locking the spring barrel in place. Because of that, it won't allow me to do a full charge on it to see if I can get it to turn on its own. So that's something I'm going to have to do. Probably make a video on tearing down the motor back and looking it over, showing you how to clean yours and do yours. I know that not many people are going to be able to find it useful because there really isn't that many 16s, but maybe it'll help somebody. I don't know. Spools. I'm not going to be able to print spools because even my biggest camera or my biggest printer only prints up to like 14 inches. Ron showed me a design that he made, which is using PVC pipes and then 3D print the spool ends. I'm probably just going to take his design and do the same thing. Just make up my own ends that fit in the ends of a PVC pipe and just do that. On a side note, I have some X-ray film that's 14 inches wide. I think I might be able to spool it around a larger diameter mandrel, I guess. The center of the spool, if I go for something that's closer to like 3/4 inch or almost 1 inch mandrel, I might be able to try that 14 inch X-ray film out just for fun. No real reason to do it, just because I already have it. Film, I've placed an order with a Ukrainian company to make photo. I think it's called Photo 100, which is, it has some near infrared sensitivity similar to Agfa Avifot. I think it terminates at about 750 nanometers. That's coming at some point in time later this year. So I'll have some, but that's just, it's a future project. It's not something that I immediately want to use it for. I'd have to also find a way to print. This is 12 inches, I believe, or 12 or 14 inches wide. So I still need to make a print, contact print frame that would be able to take 16-inch film, and that's not going to do it. So without further ado, let me get the damn thing. Okay. First off, let's go through this stuff. So the camera came with 2 separate lenses. I'm going to call it 10-inch. I'm not really sure here. I think it's a 10-18-24. This is, I believe, off of a Cirkut number 10, probably an older Century, or maybe one of the newer former Swin styles. I'm not really sure what version this is for, but hey, I got a number 10 triple convertible now, which is kind of cool. I didn't have that for my number 10. I already made a lens board for this, but this is the original lens for a 16. It's a 15-24-36 triple convertible Turner Reich lens. Pretty excited about that. I didn't think I'd find one of these in as good a shape as I did, but the lens that's the front element has a little bit of separation, but not too much. It's completely usable. And more than likely, when I go to step the lens down, that separation won't be there because the blades will block it anyways. So I've got a number of components here. Part of the back for closing the camera is here. I think this is part of the case, or one of the cases, because I can't seem to find where it would have gone on the camera. Small description about that back piece. A few gears, a 107, 74, a 41, and a 31. Along with some information on focusing. This is for a 12.5 inch lens. Maybe that's what this is for. Maybe this is 12.5 and not 10 inch. Like I think, I'm not 100% sure yet. Still have to go through a lot of this. A photo of Ron Klein with his Model A and his number 16 came with it. I thought that was kind of funny. I opened the box and saw it. Just surprised the heck out of me to see that. This camera at some point in time was shipped up to Ron for work. I spoke with Ron about it because it's been worked on extensively by him, at least in a few places. One of the things that happened, which you can't see any remnants of, is at some point in time somebody took a hacksaw to the front bed, chopped it down so they were able to make it a ultra wide 16. This is part of that chopped off piece. This is one of the original pieces that were chopped off. So the one that's on there now is one that Ron made for it. So it no longer looks like any damage has ever occurred. So this is just a bit of a history related to this camera. It really serves no function to me now, but it's something to share. Some information about the lens for the number, the 15, 24, 36. This is the shutter mechanism. I guess a bit of a breakdown, so whoever is working on it could work on it. And information for that same picture. I'm not going to pull this all the way out. I'm just going to kind of demonstrate this. But these are ribs, more than likely from the original bellows. And I think this is probably the leftover material from the original bellows, which is great to have because now I have a pattern. I can make one. I made a bellows for my numbers, my 8x10 Century View. And I use the original material as a pattern, so I'm just going to do the same thing with this. If it's all there, or at least one side of it's there, I'll be able. Or if two sides of it are there, I'll be able to make a new one. But for right now, it's every time I lift it up and stuff just gets everywhere, and I just don't want to deal with that right now. These are the main three pieces, so we're going to open it one at a time and kind of look at it. But I kind of like this jeans material bag that houses the whole gear. Looks like a steering wheel for a boat. Okay, we'll open this one first. All right. This has obviously been leather coated with some generic leather that somebody found. It's very soft. You can feel that it's much newer than the camera should be. I don't have an exact date for this camera. When I tried looking at the paperwork for dating each of the circuits that I own, this one falls in between an area that's not listed. I believe it's 64. Let me double check. Yeah, so the number is a 65,000. At least that's what the serial number starts off as. And the list I have for camera serial numbers for that goes from 55,000 and skips all the way to 80,000. So 60 and 70,000 numbers are not listed here. So if I'm going to give a date, approximate date, it's between 1915 and 1918, which is kind of crazy because My other two circuits are from 1918, so fairly close to the same date as this. Yeah, it's about a three, somewhere in between 3 years, because it's flat out not listed. It goes 50 to 55, and then it jumps 80 to 90,000. I don't know where the other ones went. There's no focusing scales. All of those are gone. When I said that this was chopped up, they even chopped the rails. So Ron silver soldered the rails back together, as well as made this bed part here. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on here, but from here and over here is where where Ron silver soldered it back together, and then this board, this center piece, was redone completely. There's no split there, so I'm guessing he remade the whole thing instead of gluing it back together. Yeah, it's one solid piece of wood here and here. So my guess is instead of gluing it back on or trying to fix that one piece, he made a full center bed. Well, I seem to have put the numbers in the wrong spot. Have to fix that later on my program. Let's see if we can look at the back piece, shall we? Another thing that I did not receive with this camera is a key for winding it. So I got a universal key set off Amazon to figure out what the key size is. This is a number 14 with the adapter. It just slides on there. It's not very secure. So I ordered a number 14 key directly from Amazon. So hopefully I'll have a solid one that won't fall apart. Another issue was that I didn't have the mounting nut. So I had to buy a pack of 25 of them. So there's the mounting nut to mount the gears to the bottom of the mechanism. And I said earlier that the key would the winding slip. So if I go to, I don't want to do it. I don't want it to fling off, but it sometimes will catch. I don't know. Anyways, the one key or the one fan that I have. Yeah, I don't have that big of a charge on it right now. But anyways, pull that off. Try not to set this down on anything because I don't want to damage anything. Let me see how I can maneuver. It's got this spring-loaded deal here. I'm not sure if Ron did this or if this comes with all Cirkut cameras, or all 16s. But this looks like what Eufus was calling a Klein bar. So it's possible that that's what this is for. It's got this separate door for adjusting the spool mechanism. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. This should be able to slide, but it's stuck stiff. I don't want to pull on it and pry on it, so I'm gonna try to get a bit of oil in there at some point and try to clean it. It's big. Yeah. Yeah, it's big. So, this is what I'm working on for the future. Mama bear, Papa bear. Let's go get baby out. Okay, I just realized I really don't have enough room on this table, and I am worried about the amount of weight that I'm putting on it. It is a plastic table. I don't want to add more to it, so I think I'm going to cut the video at this point. If you have any questions, suggestions about anything that I've talked about, leave it in the comment section below. This is the first time finding this channel. Why don't you like and share and subscribe? You know, do all the YouTube stuff for me. I don't really have much left to say. Can't even get in frame. I don't even have much left to say. I'm super excited about this. This is great. Bye.